During times of civil unrest, it's important to know and understand the 97-3 rule. If you don't know what that means, stay tuned to this episode of Tactical Tidbits. Hello friends, Herman Morris from Alpha One Tactical here. In an effort to make these videos evergreen, I try not to mention any specific current events and just stick to the concepts. But today I just want to mention what's going on currently and just to add some context. As I film this, we're still going through the COVID-19 pandemic and still seeing a lot of demonstrations, in some cases rioting and looting, as a result of the murder of George Floyd and other deaths at the hands of police. Now, if you're watching this in several years into the future, I hope that things have improved significantly, but I currently believe that things will get significantly worse before they get better. Now, the reasons behind a lot of this chaos and uncertainty is beyond the scope of this video, indeed beyond the scope of this series. But so I just want to focus on your safety, not on politics. Okay, so let's jump straight to the 97-3 rule and why it's important. This is a concept that we teach as part of the SPEAR Personal Defense Readiness Program, and it states that 97% of the public can be dealt with through avoidance and de-escalation tactics. The other 3% are our most dangerous opponents, those who are willing to harm and or kill to achieve their goals. So, while the vast majority of us are willing to discuss, negotiate, argue, exchange, peacefully with each other, there's a small minority in society that instead prefers to use violence to get what they want. Now, at first glance, one might think that this fact about society should make us feel good about ourselves, and it should to a certain extent. I mean, the fact that it doesn't look like Mad Max out there every time we leave the house is certainly something to be thankful for. But it doesn't mean that we should be complacent. Okay, so how does this concept apply to civil unrest? Well, first off, we use this concept when talking about people's personal safety in their normal everyday lives, merely to highlight that the threat is not 0%. And that as long as it's not 0%, then we need to take responsibility for our safety and the safety of the people who depend on us. But when it comes to issues like civil unrest, ranging anywhere from minor rioting and looting all the way up to a civil war, it's that much more important that we understand the implications of that 3%. So that 3% is typically spread out throughout the country, and it's disorganized and often mostly acts randomly or when an easy target is identified. This is manifested in crimes ranging from petty theft all the way up to rapes, assaults, and murders. However, during times of civil unrest, this 3% can become organized and their actions can have much more detrimental impact than when they just simply acted alone. Think about it this way. The US has a population of roughly 330 million people. 3% of that is about 10 million. That's basically the entire population of a country like Sweden. And if you think about an army that is 10 million strong, you can begin to realize just how dangerous this group could be, even while still being a tiny minority. In fact, it's estimated that only about 3% of the American colonists fought in the Revolutionary War, and they were able to defeat the most powerful empire at that time. Okay, so what can we do about this? The first most important step is to realize and acknowledge the problem. We're going through a very chaotic transition period across the entire world. And that usually disparate and disorganized 3% is going to exploit to achieve their ends through violence. Knowing that, it's then imperative that we prepare accordingly. That means having a preparedness plan for you and your family, or for things like sheltering in place, and you can see my video about bugging in. In some cases, it might be better to bug out. But the most important and most effective way to beat back a scourge like this is through unity. Coming together with your friends and neighbors and creating safety and defense plans in order to hopefully deter a mob from attacking your community in the first place. And if that doesn't work, be able to push them back decisively. Now, all of that requires a lot of knowledge about things like, defensive strategies and techniques and tactics, as well as knowing how to safely and effectively employ certain types of weapons. So I suggest that if all or any of those are blind spots for you, that you get started in making them a priority. If you're in the Phoenix, Arizona area, I would love to help you in your personal defense and home defense development. To learn more, please visit alpha1tactical.com, and I'll see you next time. Stay safe.